Hey, everybody. Once again, we get a chance to sit down and talk with the great men of the Chattanooga Police Department. And we always love when they come in here and talk to us. What's up, fellas?
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
How y'all doing?
We do good.
All right, so introduce yourselves. I always have to say who you are. I mean, say it for yourself.
I'm Officer Lee Mayweather.
Investigator Tyrone Williams.
And in the back over there?
Retired Sergeant Craw.
The voice.
Yeah, we've been getting on him. He back there in the back. Hey, today, our series that we sit down and talk about is so fantastic because we get a chance just to see it from you guys' eyes. And today we're going to be talking about domestic violence, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Some of the things that you guys want to pass on, because you just made a great point. We was talking off the microphone when you said it's one way and then it's another way. Explain that again.
So domestic, and I know Investigator Williams will have more detail to it. So what I like to explain to people when they don't understand how they're being charged, domestic mean related either by a relationship or genetic related. You know, it's more closer than I pick a random stranger on the street and assault them. So that would be domestic because they're strangers. So, but like I say, he'll have full detail on the explanation of that.
Absolutely. Of course, when you talk about domestic violence, it's going to be between married spouses, people dating, your kids in your home, your own children, stepchildren. So kind of a broad spectrum, but mainly people that have lived together or are currently living together.
Okay. When you come up on those type situations, and you say you arrive to someone's home, and there's a dispute going on. I mean, I know you have to approach with caution, right?
Yes.
And also good judgment,
right?
Because you don't know. I mean, everybody's got a story, and everybody's trying to tell you their story.
Absolutely.
So how do you kind of distinguish, which way to go when you get on site?
Okay, so basically you want to try to talk to all the parties involved in a situation like that. We as officers are tasked with trying to determine the primary aggressor in a situation, meaning who caused the situation, to occur. And basically who threw the first punch or what have you in a situation like that. However, a situation can turn simply because, say, for instance, you punch me, but I go get a baseball bat and I hit you with that. Now my aggression is greater than yours.
Oh, okay.
So we have to evaluate the severity of that situation as well.
Okay. And if you get into a situation like that, and you get there, and the person that made the phone call. I mean, do you go and you say, okay, well, who made the phone call? Do you start asking questions like that?
Yeah,
is that
absolutely
important?
Well, I mean, first of all, you get there, the main thing you're gonna do is figure out who is who.
Yeah.
And you say, well, how are y'all related? Why are you here? That's my cousin. Then you start going, okay, that slides into this category here.
Okay, yeah.
And then that way you're able to pick the right decision on the charge.
Okay.
We already know what the charge is going to be. I see it, but I got to make sure how you're related to this incident, either by being a stranger or stuff to that level. So when you get there, when you get all of the chaos down, because you got people outside yelling, she's pregnant. She's, and that changes. So it may go from domestic to, okay, this is aggravated, maybe times 2.
Yeah.
Because now you with child, and so it's several categories broken down before we can get to a direct what this ends up being charged with. So
before they call you guys, is there any information or any that you can? You're shaking your head already.
Because you don't know who the caller is.
Yeah. Okay.
So they could. If we've had plenty of calls, not interrupt. We have plenty of calls. We got a person shot laying here, and you got to decide when you get there. You got to figure out what it is. Could be a person just entertained with police coming there on scene. You actually have a person shot there, or someone just wanted you to get to a fight.
Okay.
So that caller, we always hope that they're giving the best detail to get us there in a hurry rather than give us false information.
I see what you're saying. Because they will give you they'll juice it up a little bit so you guys can hurry up and get there, right?
Absolutely.
Let me ask you this then. So, how do you find if you find yourself in that situation? How do you avoid getting arrested? That's what I want to know.
Well, if we're talking about domestic violence here, a lot of people don't understand that the law itself states that once we determine who the primary aggressor is, we shall make an arrest. So we really don't have an option not to. If there's physical violence, there are, maybe minor situations where, say, for instance, just some pushing and shoving happen.
Okay.
That gives us a little bit of leeway to make a decision as to whether or not, hey, can you leave or can there be a peaceful resolve? But if it becomes more physical,
won't calm down,
Right.
Can't get them to understand that, hey, it's time to talk and try to talk it out.
absolutely.
If it gets past that, then you guys have to,
we have to make an arrest because we run into a liability issue if we allow parties to stay on scene and something greater happens.
yeah, I can see that.
So, we have
can
to
see
really try and evaluate that portion as well.
Is there any other information you guys would like to pass on to people that may find themselves in a situation like that?
Well, obviously, there are a lot of help resources. If you want to look at maybe taking some anger management courses, if you want to look at taking some counseling courses as a couple, as a family, a lot of people kind of leave the kids out. That's very important as well.
Yeah.
So we would always encourage people to maybe look at
Difficult
those.
situation when the kids
Absolutely.
are involved.
Absolutely.
I would imagine that.
My rule to it is if it started out you being hurt through things being said to you, that you already should look into the fact that you're dealing with domestic violence, being a victim of it, because it goes from first degrading you, and then when you accept that, thinking the person will get better, then it may turn into a push, which ultimately leads to being killed later on because you allowed something to escalate by showing it's okay or that you look over it. So if you start to suspect in the beginning that this doesn't feel right to you, how the person is treating you verbally, to eliminate it from escalating further, nip it right then to either seek help or to separate from the person.
I was just going to ask that question. Is there a phone number they can call, or how can they research the fact that, most of the time when this thing leads up to where you guys get involved, it's been coming. You know what I'm saying? So you want to make sure that, when you see these signs coming, what can I do to, like you say, nip it in the bud?
Well, there is a hotline number you could call, but for the most part, it may not be bad enough to where you do it immediately, but something out of the way, like in the beginning relationship where a person is charming, but now, a few weeks in now, you've kind of gotten insulted with the word, calling you out of your name or something like that. That may not be at a point of calling the number. That just may be your own red flag to reevaluate the
Situation.
person. Yeah. And I think once you jump ahead, you don't feel like you lost a lot of yourself because you gave plenty of time for the person to change for the better, and it only got worse.
Yeah.
So you don't lose much of your time. Create your own red flags of what you will accept about yourself and what you definitely won't.
Especially if they start talking about they're going to do this to you and do that to you.
Well, I mean, it could be simple as saying things to you like in most of these situations when people say, let's have a deep conversation about ourselves in the beginning and stuff, and they learn all of those things, and then those things are used against you to make you feel a certain way.
Yeah.
That is also, to me, domestic violence because it's creating a toxic feeling for yourself about yourself coming from somebody who you're trying to allow
trust it and
in yourself.
Exactly.
So basically, I think if you eliminate that from the beginning of it, you won't find yourself going down a rabbit hole of giving all these chances and all you lost was time and love you could have been placing into yourself.
Okay. Anything else y'all want to pass on this subject?
Yeah.
We could talk about this for a minute, I'm sure.
We can. I have a host of things to really put out there for everyone. If you look at the different types of domestic violence that may occur, you're looking at obviously the physical portion, but people don't think about the sexual aspect of it, the emotional aspect, or even the economical portion. You have, say, a female that's at home that's not working, that doesn't have any money, any resources. She may have relocated from her family to another state. It sort of starts to isolate you from, what normal life is. If you find yourself in situations like that, obviously we're talking about reevaluating what happens next. So that's something you need to think about. Just some quick numbers here. 1 in 3 women are victims of domestic violence. Also, 1 in 4 men are victims of domestic violence. So just something to think about. It's just not, say, a man or a woman. It's everybody, your kids. If your kids are in the home and they witness a domestic violence incident, law enforcement now has to contact DHS. So they're going to get involved. They're going to come into the home and evaluate whether or not there can be some parenting plans put in place, some corrective actions to stop this behavior from happening. So there are a lot of implications that go along with that. We haven't even hit on strangulation.
Oh, wow.
That's a whole different subject to talk about.
That's assault, isn't it?
Right. If you start placing your hands around somebody's throat or their neck area and you start cutting off their airway, and say, for instance, they just fall unconscious or for a moment, you go from committing a misdemeanor assault to a felony assault. So things to think about,
Can't let it get so heated that you start to do bodily harm to somebody.
Right.
Yeah. Oh man, like I said, we could talk about this. It's a subject. I mean, it's worth talking about because people go through this from time to time, and to be able to be knowledge is power. We always say that. So if you know, you can do better. And that's what you guys do when you come in here. You explain things to us, and we see it from you all's point of view. And I think that's a good thing. So we do appreciate these our little seminars that we do once a month. I do appreciate it.
Can I add one more thing in there?
Yeah, you can.
So if you are a victim of a domestic event and your partner is arrested and they go to jail, we get a lot of questions about how do we know when they're getting out, or how do I know, where they are. Vinelink.com is actually run by Hamilton County.
Okay.
You can go on that website. You can type in the offender's name, date of birth, different components, and they will actually give you the information. There's also a phone number you can call associated with that also, 423-209-7600. You can call that number, and they will give you the same information that's on the VineLink system. And so that helps you kind of keep up to date with whether or not somebody's been released or whether or not you're in fear of them, getting released.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And
Fantastic.
if a person is in the middle of a domestic violence situation that don't know what to do, Detective Williams, can they reach out to the Family Justice Center for help or guidance in any shape, form, or fashion?
Absolutely. You can contact the Family Justice Center or you can contact the partnership. They both have resources to help victims relocate. They have resources for housing, clothing, monetary needs that may need to be met if you incur a financial loss. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
Definitely. A lot of resources there for you.
Give that phone number again.
That number for the VineLink system is 209-7600.
Okay.
So assuming we follow up, we can kind of get into all the Family Justice Center stuff.
Okay.
Again, there are a wealth of resources out there for you as well. So,
All right. Well, thanks again, guys, for coming in like you always do once a month, man. These, I think these our little seminars that we do and talk about things that happen within the community, within y'all's jurisdiction, as far as being able to see what's going on and seeing it from you guys' point of view is it's informative, and we appreciate it.
Keith, before we go, maybe when we come back next time, we can talk about the effects that domestic violence has on our kids that go to school.
Okay. Oh,
Because
wow.
a lot of times these kids experience domestic violence as soon as they wake up in the morning, and then they expect their kids to go to school and perform well.
And
So
then
hopefully,
and then the teachers have to kind of deal with that because they're still upset over things And
Yes.
any little thing can trigger them once they get into school.
So we want to talk about that. We want to bring that to light so parents can really understand the effect of their lifestyle can have on their own children.
All right. That's a good point there. Appreciate that. All right, guys. Thank you once again. Chattanooga's best man coming in once a month, and we do these little talks, and we sure do appreciate it. So thank y'all.
Appreciate you
Sure.
having
All right.
me.
Thank you.